India is set to host the third edition of 2+2 Ministerial Dialogue with the US from October 26-27. External Affairs Minister S Jaishankar and Defense Minister Rajnath Singh will meet the US counterparts, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and Secretary of Defense Mark T Esper in New Delhi. The talks will be held a week before the US presidential elections on November 3. 2+2 talks is a bilateral meeting of the defense and foreign ministers or secretaries of two countries. The format, derived from Japan, aims to facilitate high-level diplomatic and political engagement between two nations for security and defense cooperation. The 2+2 Foreign and Defense Ministers Dialogue mechanism was announced during the first meeting of PM Modi and President Trump in 2017. The inaugural dialogue was held in Delhi in September 2018, followed by its second edition in Washington in December last year. The 2+2 dialogue has replaced the strategic and commercial dialogue between the foreign and commerce ministers of the two countries that were held during the Obama administration. Apart from India, the United States holds such ministerial dialogues only with Australia and Japan. The Trump administration has been critical of China's territorial disputes with other nations, and has called it out on several occasions over its aggressive actions. This year's 2+2 meeting comes at a critical juncture, as India is witnessing its worst standoff with China in the last 45 years. Mike Pompeo had said, China has a pattern of instigating territorial disputes with its neighbors, and the world should not allow this bullying. In addition, Chinese moves in the South China Sea, continuing genocide in Tibet and Xinjiang, saber-rattling against Taiwan, and unsparing actions in Hong Kong could also be a part of the forthcoming Indo-US meeting. Speculation is rife that the Basic Exchange and Cooperation Agreement, BECA, a pact with deep military implications, is also on the table. But it is not confirmed whether it will be sealed during the talks. BECA will allow India to use US geospatial intelligence and enhance the accuracy of automated systems and weapons like missiles and armed drones. This is the fourth and final foundational pact with the US after signing of the General Security of Military Information Agreement of 2002. The Logistics Exchange Memorandum of Agreement, LAMOA, of 2016. And the Communications, Compatibility and Security Arrangement, COMCASA, of 2018. While LAMOA provides for reciprocal logistical support, COMCASA has paved the way for India to get greater access to military technologies. BECA will enable the US to share advanced satellite and topographical data for long-range navigation and missile targeting with India. Expansive defense cooperation has been the lodestar of wider India-US ties. In the past 13 years, the US has notched up Indian defense deals worth $20 billion. The US managing to displace New Delhi's long-standing military supplier Russia for a few years. Several other procurements in the field of defense and security are in the pipeline this time, with India now keen to purchase the medium-altitude long-endurance, male, armed Predator B drone, and other high-tech weapons. The US side would seek to put some pressure on the Indian side to stall the missile purchase and propel New Delhi to reduce its dependence on Moscow for arms purchase. The talks assume significance amid widening trade ties between New Delhi and Washington. The US is one of the few countries with which India has a trade surplus. According to the data of the Commerce Ministry in 2019 and 20, the bilateral trade between the US and India stood at $88.75 billion, as against $87.96 billion in 2018-19. The US remained India's top trading partner for the second consecutive fiscal in 2019-20. US foreign direct investment in India was $45.9 billion in 2019, an 8.1% increase from 2018. US goods and services trade with India totaled an estimate of $146.1 billion in 2019. Exports were $58.6 billion, imports were $87.4 billion. The U.S. goods and services trade deficit with India was $28.8 billion in 2019.